So hello guys, this is I Am Unique, your DIY business coach here. We're not a Studio U, but we're on vacation, dealing with some death in the family, and celebrating Thanksgiving, being thankful that we are still here and we are doing the things that we can do to be survive and be healthy. So we have Deonte Bolton here. He is a screenplay writer. He is a um, visionary. He puts your story, he makes your story and makes it come to life on film. So I'm going to be working with Dante in the future. He doesn't know this yet, but I have a screenplay. I'm just waiting for a couple more people to die off, so that I can work without hurting people's feelings. But today we are going to start this, and we're going to let Dante say who he is and what he does, and we're just going to talk about how he brings people's story to life. All right, Dante, tell everybody who you are and where are you located, and a little bit about yourself.
Yes, yes. For those who don't know, I'm Deonte Bolden. I am a filmmaker, playwright, an award-winning author here in Atlanta. CEO of my own production company, Deonte Bolden Productions. I write plays, films, do all the great things. I believe in telling your stories because they're empowering to others. And because I've been so active of telling my stories, I've sold out several shows here in Atlanta. Um, Many people have been asking me like, how do I write my stories? So I started the Bolden Academy where I'm helping to coach authors and writers how to tell their story, turn their stories into scripts for TV, film, and for the stage. Um, Originally, I'm from Washington, D.C., but I had a brother with special needs, and because of his passing and going through a lot of my depression, and which often led me to suicidal thoughts. It was that through writing that I was able to really say that writing truly saved my life and was therapeutic for me. So it was always creating these dynamic characters and telling these stories and really just finding a way to be able to find my purpose, and that's through writing. So I've been at it ever since. I've been into the acting, doing a lot of different things, but that really led to me really just creating my own path, and that led to my production company, the Bolden Academy, now the Bolden Awards. So yeah, that's pretty much my little story. I lived in LA for a few years, but I recently moved to Atlanta in 2018, started my production company, and just been grinding ever since.
Wow. So tell us about your production company and then tell us about this awesome Bolton Academy that you have.
Yeah, so my production company, Deonte Bolden Productions, were we pride ourselves on, uncovering, exposing the scars while allowing God to do the healing. I believe in, I pride myself on my production company of really just talking about deep rooted issues. I feel like there's a lot of times, discussions don't come to the forefront in relationships and families, businesses, friendships, because we tend to want to sweep a lot of things under the rug. But through Deontay Bolden Productions, I believe that it's important for us to tell stories that people need to hear, So I go really, really deep. I just did a production looking for love in all wrong places, and we were just talking about, rape and, abuse in families and, incest and a lot of those different things that people don't want to talk about to expose them and bring them to the forefront. So,
Right.
Deontay Bolden Productions have been here and uh, it led to um, the Bolden Academy because, just like I said, so many people are wanting to write stories and have shared their stories with me and hit up my inbox when they see what I do and were like, can you help me to write my story? And I was like, I get so tired of people asking me that question. But then I was like, why don't I make this a business? People really want me to help them to tell their stories, then this is a business and a thing that I need to create to be able to help other people to tell their stories. So that's what we do at the Bolden Academy. I walk you through the process of telling your story, formulating and strategizing your story, putting it on paper, and finding your target audience, and putting it on a stage or on film, and really help you to go through the storytelling process.
That is super awesome. That's super awesome. So when you come into the Bolton Academy and you learn about telling your story, like what are some things that people need to know and be prepared for when they're coming to you? And who is your right client? Like who's the person that you're really trying to reach? And what story do you want to tell everybody's story, or you just want to tell some people's story?
I'm open to telling all stories, but it has to be something that I'm interested in. But I feel like to me, I'm always ready to tell the story of the person that's been, that's been through some painful experiences. Those are kind of my target audience, those who have really just been through some things and inspiring stories. Through my consultation sessions, I listen to your story and your empowering story because I also have friends that help people to tell their stories. So if I feel like we're not a fit, if that's something that doesn't gel with me, I know how to send you over to a friend of mine. But I'm very much into empowering stories, how got, ashes to excellence, how you went from that phase in your life. One of the things I would say that people need to know when they come to me is that there's a lot of internal personal work that you have to do within yourself. People think it's just writing, taking a pen and putting it on paper or getting behind the laptop, but there's a lot of things you have to do internally and in your mind before you can even get to that phase of telling your story, understanding your message. What are you trying to convey? Because a lot of people are like, oh, I have a story, I have a character, but we try to put all of these different stories into one script and then you confuse your audience. So I help people to understand what's the message that you want to convey right now. What do you want the people to know? And then we work and build it down and then we create those dynamic characters. People also tend to not realize that, your characters is what drives your story. So you got to make sure those characters are well-rounded individuals and people that your audience can relate to as well. So those are the things that help people to understand, and those are the biggest things because people tend to forget that when they go into this script writing world.
Wow. So coming into this world, knowing your story, knowing your placement, you want a story that actually is impactful to the community, and change lives. Because everybody's story, some stories don't change lives, some stories change lives, some stories just show different perspectives. So your stories are really here to grasp what people are really thinking about. So what are things that like empower you to tell these stories? Like why? I understand you had your death of your brother and the depression side of it, but like why do you think telling? Why don't you just tell your stories? Why do you think other people need to tell their stories? And why is it so important for you?
Yes, great question. I think the reason why it's important for other people and me to help tell other people's stories because there's a different audience and there's different experiences. Many experiences I haven't been through personally, but I want other people to understand it as well. I've never went through, someone molested me, but just hearing someone else and how they came through being molested and how they've overcome that, there's people that need to hear those stories. I always say, and I'm more passionate about it than ever because when we look at the news, even today, experiencing how, the shooting in Chesapeake and, all of these different things that are going on, we're living in a generation now where people are just looking for answers and solutions, to things that they've experienced. And sometimes when you go through the background of these people who commit these, heinous crimes, it's because they've been through some things and not just for them, but it's just so many people are suppressing a lot of emotions now. And I think it's important and therapeutic that we're putting our stories out there. So if you're coming to me and wanting to tell something that I've never experienced before, I want you to be able to tell that story because God didn't give me the vision, He gave it to you, but it's going to impact someone's life. I said one script at a time. So it's important for us to get our stories out there because people need to know that these things exist and how we've overcome them as well. So that's what's keeping me wanting to tell other people's stories.
That's awesome. That is awesome. And the cool part about it is there's so many things that are happening. Like mental health right now is huge. People
Right.
don't understand how that solitude during COVID affected people and relationships and your mental health. And if you notice, like all these crazy things are happening in grocery stores and people are lashing out on people from whatever reason. It may be something that they want, and then they say, well, I can't express myself this way, so I don't want nobody else to be able to. Or because they just don't know how to deal with it because they've already always had distractions. So during this time, and now we have these holidays, people seem like they're passing away quicker than ever before, because
Mm.
maybe underlying illnesses or just you know mental health issues that they're now having to deal with. So helping people in this light is so awesome, and I appreciate that you giving people the opportunity to express your story, because I believe that when you write and when you tell your story, it kind of helps you release that crazy in your head. You know what I mean? When you're able to be able to talk to people and address with people, especially now during this holiday season that's happening right now. Like it's holidays coming, it's stressful, finances, we're going into a recession, or I'm assuming I'm self-employed, so when they say recession, I'm like, a hustle is a hustle,
It is. Yeah.
you know what I mean. So regardless to and realistically, as a business owner and a business coach, a recession is the best time for most people. They come out there shelling. They're like, well, shoot, this job just laid me off. I need to figure out how to make some money on my own. Let me talk to this person and pay them to get me to help me make this money on my own. So I don't understand what a recession is, real talk. So that's kind of where I am mentally in it. But I love the way that you empower people to tell their story and get in touch with themselves, their inner person. So, um, what else can you tell us more maybe about the fundamentals of Bolton Academy, and then maybe kind of go into like some of the processes that you do at the Bolton Academy, so that if someone's interested in going through this and need help, because it could be almost like psychiatry or a psychology going through this Bolton Academy. Not that you are a psychologist, that, as far as I know, are a doctor of any sorts, but helping people express themselves and tell their story. So, can you kind of explain people, because that's your biggest product right now is the Bolton Academy, right?
Right. Yes. I'm glad you mentioned that. Yes. I'll go through a little bit of the process. The over outline, when I consult with someone and they're ready to start the process of, hey, I want to write something, I have this idea. I get to go tell them to go to the drawing board. A lot of times people come with the idea, but they just don't really have it fully thought out. So I tell them to go back to the drawing board and really list a lot of the different experiences. Some people come to me and say, hey, I have this just an idea, but I need to really figure out how to get this in story format. So I always go through the process of, let's strategize, think of list all of the different things that you want to talk about, and then we move into, okay, well, what's the message? If someone will come and see your production, what would you want to leave with them? What is the message that you want to convey? Then once they kind of have that, okay, who are the characters connected to it? Why are they there? A lot of times people miss that mark because they don't understand the why, figuring out the why. Why is everyone coming together in this setting after you create those amazing characters? What are we there for? What is their purpose? What is their mission? Who's the antagonist? Who's the protagonist? Understanding the relationships of your characters. I always tell people when they come to me, your characters, you should know them like the back of your hand. You should be connected to those characters. If I'm bringing Unique in, I got to know who is Unique, why is she there, what is she like, who does she not like, all of those different things. Then once we move into the understanding of that, we get the tone. What is the tone of the player? Is it supposed to be sad? Is it supposed to be happy? Like, where are we in that? And sometimes the tone can shift, but we have to understand. When you set the mood, the beginning, the first scene of any production that you do, it sets the tone of the play. So you have to have an understanding of that. And then we understand the plot. And the plot is a little bit going back to the um, the understanding of why everyone is there, but it also sets the scenes up for all of the conflicts that happen as well. And then we get into the setting. So we really just go through the storytelling process of helping people to understand and break down stories. What I realized through the Bolden Academy is that people know what they want to say, but they just don't know how to do it in a storytelling format. Kind of goes back to the basic English. I bring it to you, but we do it more in a fun way. And half of the time, sometimes people don't even realize that it's taking you back to the English, literature and all those different things. But we do it in a cool way that people understand and they can use these tools in anything that they help to put together in story format. I have a friend of mine who took my class. Well, she's my friend now. She wasn't my friend when she first started with me. And it's just amazing how we really constructed her story. Because when she first came to me, it was just like, what is this? But then when we actually worked together through the Bolden Academy, she's now on the process now of getting her play out there. And it's really, really good. So I'm excited about it. So I really just do the inner work with you, help you to understand what you want to say, and then we go through that storytelling process together, breaking down those characters, understanding the setting, making sure that it makes sense. That's important. And then really I ask you, who's your target audience? Just like you were asking me, who's your target audience when you write this production? Who is it for? Who's going to be filling the seats? You're speaking to those people because a lot of times we want to write stories we feel like we're going to speak to everybody. But when you have those people in your target audience, it'll draw in the other people as well. So yeah, I know that answers your question.
Yes, yes, that was a beautiful answer. That's great. So when I'm ready to put my story together, I'm coming to you. Mine is more of my story that I want to tell is more of a lifelong trauma and how people can affect your life and your emotions and how you handle things throughout the years, even if you have not talked to them for 30 or 40 years, how they can affect those things that's happening to you. Because childhood trauma, relationship trauma, all of those things have to do with, your story and what's happening in your life and how you live your life to this day. So, um, Dante, do you have what is your website, your social media? And then we have a couple of people on Clubhouse and we can see if they have any questions for you. If any that would if they want to come up to the stage and ask you any questions, we can have them speak, but in the last 10 minutes of this show. So tell us where we can find you at on social media, on your website, and then and if anybody's interested in telling your story or getting their story told. Dante is the guy. I met him on Clubhouse, and it's been a
Yes,
great
thank you.
experience. Go ahead. Go ahead. Tell them where you can find yourself.
Yes, sorry, it was jittery on my side. I didn't mean to cut you off. Yes, so if you want to connect with me, you definitely go to my website, www.deonteboldenproductions.com. You could go, it's the links to all my social media accounts on social media at Deonte Bolden Productions on all social media platforms except for Twitter because I created my Twitter years ago. I'm still using that Deonte Bolden, but you could definitely find me on there. There's also at the Bolden Academy Awards where I post a lot of stuff on um, Instagram dealing with the Academy and then also the awards show. You guys want to stay tuned because I do have the Bolden Awards coming. And you can also go to the boldenacademy.com. That's also linked to social media and all the things we're doing through the academy. And then there's also the boldenawards.com as well to get more information concerning the awards show. So if you follow me on all my social media platforms, there is a link to like at Deonte Bolden Production. You get all those links. Plus, if you go on my website to all of my social media. So I'm looking forward to working and telling some more stories because I'm on the road right now.
Yay, that's awesome. So let's open the lines up to my Clubhouse family. Does anybody here want to ask Dante any questions about the Bolton Academy and about how telling your story, how you make money off of telling your story? Anybody out there, Mo? Corolla. Anybody want to say anything? We have Mike.
What's up?
How?
Yeah, it wouldn't let me in Mike. So yeah, I got here a little bit late. So what are the courses that are offered in the Bolton Academy?
What are the courses that are offered in the Bolton Academy? That's Mo.
So yes, we have a one-off. Yes, so we have a one-on-one consultation you can book with me. A lot of people tend to do that. I just finished up at Front of Page's stage workshop where I was helping people to turn their books into productions. We're going to be starting that back up again in the new year. But right now, you can do a one-on-one consultation with me through the Bolden Academy to help personally tell your story. I'm also about to start a masterclass in the spring after the award show called Emerging Bold Playwrights. And it will give you guys the fundamentals of how to just basically start a story and even go into the script writing format. But right now, if you're ready to start a session with me, you have a story, you can book a consultation with me, and then we can do a one-on-one session. That's 3 sessions with me for $397. And I will actually walk you through the basics of telling your story. Should you need more, we could discuss a price after that as well. But that is what I'm offering right now through the Bolden Academy. And then there is some Black Friday deals that I'm willing to do as well, 25% off, coming up to do a session with me as well.
Awesome, awesome. Mo, do you have anything else?
You're saying it's 25% off the $397, or is that something?
25% off the
Yeah, that's my
$397.
Black Friday special. Yes. So I'm doing 25% off on everything that I have to my session, one-on-one sessions through the Bolden Academy and everything. Yes.
Nice, nice. Creola, do you have anything else to say? Do you have any questions, Creola, on the stage? Anybody on Instagram? I have a couple people over here. This is Michael Bolton. Do y'all have any questions for him about telling your story online, about getting your story made into a screenplay? Is anybody out here interested in that? I'll make sure I share this information with you guys throughout all platforms. And Dante, we will end the podcast in 5 minutes. So, is there anything you would like to say or tell the people out there? And then if you want to join a conversation with us on Clubhouse, you can jump on your Clubhouse because that's where I met you at. Clubhouse is the bomb. So, guys, if y'all are not on Clubhouse, this is a shameless plug for Clubhouse. I wish I was getting some commission off of this. Join Clubhouse, man. There's great people here, great networks. You get to meet some awesome people that are right around the corner from you and all over the world. Like I was in a room yesterday talking to people in Dubai and United Kingdom. So, make sure you go to this. This is the I Am Unique podcast. And we're just here talking with Deonte Bolton about the Bolton Academy, how to create your story, how to make your story make money and make sense and get it out there to the people so that you can impact and inspire at people every day of your life. Because once that screenplay is out, once that is out on film, haven't you watched Friday? How many times? Like these stories are out there and they can help you and help other people from time to go. So don't be ashamed to tell your story. Like get out here and tell your story because you never know how somebody out here does not believe that it did not happen to them. And you're not the only one that it did not happen to. There's so many people that same thing happen to all the time and go through the same problems, and you're not out here alone. So if you want to tell your story and get it out on the screenplay, just to adult. I have a client for you. Um, she has a great story. She's in Norcross. It's called Cheesecake. Look her up. And reach out to her and tell her that you want to tell her story and Unique referred you to her. And she has a very good story that she could bring to life that would be awesome. So Dante, just one more time, let me ask the Clubhouse family. Anybody on here want to say anything to Dante while we're live? Ask him any question. ask him any questions while we're live. If not, he's gonna tell us where we can be found one more time so that anybody who missed it can hear it. Anybody on Instagram, you guys, if you want to get in touch with Deonte, make sure I've tagged them in his picture below, and I'll tag him in this post as well coming up so that y'all can follow him and, book a consultation with him. 25% off of $397 for three consultations, right? To get your story out there, to help somebody, no matter what your story is, and then he'll tell you how he can help you, or he can refer you to somebody else who can help you if your story does not comply to his what he's trying to do. So go ahead, Deonte, tell everybody one more time your social media handles, your website, and your promotions that you're doing for Black Friday.
Yes, so I can be found at www.deonte, Deonte, B as in boy, OL, D as in dog, EN productions.com. It's links to all my social media when you go onto my website. You can also book a consultation with me from the website. You can also like I said, links to all of my social media. I do have 25% off for Black Friday, so it's 3 sessions for me, usually $397, 25% off. I'm also Deonte Bolden on Twitter as well. One of the things I definitely want to leave that I actually help with people to understand, even for authors, is that looking for different ways of not limiting your story. I've worked with several authors, and I help them to understand that when you create a production, you find different ways of telling your story, it brings more traction to the books and helps with.
Well, he
Your
froze up
potential
for a
buyers
second.
for your book. Uh-oh.
Yeah, you froze up. So say that last part one more time for us.
Yeah, you could be in the back selling your books while your play production is on, because I've done it numerous times and it helps to bring more attraction to the books. Finally, what I would tell people as well is to, when you're approaching your life stories, understand that there is so many different stories in that life story of yours. So you don't have to put on an autobiography for yourself and tell everything. You can find different chapters of your life to put in different scripts, because most people, I tell them, unless you're Whitney Houston, Michael Jackson, people are not going to sit there and just want to watch an autobiography of you because they don't understand who you are yet. But when you find how to put those in different scripts and realize you have like 10 scripts in you based off your life story, I help you to break that down and help you to strategize so you can put your story out there effectively. So that's all I want to say. Connect with me. I'm ready to tell your story when you are, and let's do it.
Yay! This is Deonte Bolton here in the I Am Unique Right Business and Lifestyle Podcast. Now streaming live on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. The video will be uploaded and live on Clubhouse right now. So we're going to cut this off. And I love the conversation and I enjoy it. And plus, we'll be on Spotify and any Apple podcast. So if you were not able to hear any of this, make sure you grab the link down below or go to the iamuniquepodcast.com. iamuniquepodcast.com. Grab that link and listen to my podcast. We will have weekly guests on talking about their businesses, their experiences, and what they're going through in their life. This is I Am Unique Right, your DIY business coach, teaching you how to better your life and make that money. Now let's get to this money. So I will talk to you guys later, and you have a great day. Bye-bye.